Number one, I didn't intend to make another video this morning. I just uploaded two that are connected, one and two. I want to make this one because all over the last days here have been McCain, and the flag is at half staff right in front of me, by the way, where I'm living, right in my face, just like in Bedford. They moved me at Joseph Stream, where my kitchen window, which they fumigated me every day, and the bulletin, the little paper there wouldn't. They came in and they were so sick when they left. They did come back when I had to leave 7 months later. I was so sick. She wouldn't come in. She had already been in there and gotten so sick, and I'm having to live there. Anyway, they took my sofa. I was having to get rid of the few things I'd put together again. Wasn't a bad one, and they took it down. Supposedly, they had somebody come and get it and took it down the Bolton in next door, Bedford, Virginia. I had to look out at the memorial, Bedford Memorial. Big place over there, where they can tell you how nice they all are. And anyway, I had to look across and I could see the UK, the Union Jack put up there alongside the American flag, like their bosom buddies, etc., which infers a total lie. Now I'm going to go from there. My son, by the way, growing up, before I found out about my real name in '83, he, at one of his schools, he was chosen to raise the American flag. Betsy Ross. Okay, now, I'm sure I'm going to have a bunch of people, if they don't, see, this gets into an ego thing, and they're going to come back at me. This is what's been going on. If you tell the truth, you're tearing down the ego, the facade they've built. So I'm going to leave it there. Try to get back to what I was going to put up. I was kidnapped and brought over here, 1941, age 2. And I'm going to have to get off of here because I suppose I'm bothering people that might be still asleep this morning. Of course, it's about 7 o'clock or 8, but I started the videoing about 6:30, so I don't know. But most people don't like what I'm saying because they're living good. So I've lived this my whole life. I was brought here in 41 at age 2 and kidnapped from a beautiful, wonderful, good man with integrity who has been so smeared, his name, and is still being smeared. And hell no, I don't like it. That's my father, who stood up to the Illuminati, and they crucified him. He had a daughter, me, which was legal. And the minute I was born, the papers drawn up, I'm Victoria II, the legal Queen of England. My father was married again to Claudia Ruth O'Keefe, school teacher, sister to artist Georgia O'Keefe from Madison, Wisconsin, Senator Ryan. And I thought he was a good man, and maybe he is, and to speak out would slaughter him, but then that's, the cover-up. I watched my father, quite frankly, didn't go along with the Illuminati. He was king in 36 and should have remained. They killed him with character assassination. He never married Wallace Simpson. Friggin' lies. They used doubles. One married Wallace Simpson, not my dad, and they're still using that as the truth today, when it's a total lie. My father was married to my mom. They took my father's identity, took him down, and replaced him with George, the illegal 6, Elizabeth's father. They look at the Illuminati, the list that was just published, and I just put part of it up. The royal families over there, and I'm not going to blame them all. The Netherlands went along with it. Elizabeth did. They worked for the Illuminati. Now, I don't know about the Netherlands. I don't know how they could get out of it now, because Henry Kissinger, who, by the way, showed up with Bush and with Obama at the funeral. This has been going on how long since he died? And Trump was told not to come. The only thing that I know of, I don't agree with Trump on what he's doing to Canada. Canada is part of the British. They fought in a war back then that I'm talking about against my own country in their own best interest. And the lives that were lost, that was caused by World War II, World War I, I'm not that familiar with exactly. They paid a heavy price, Canada did. And no, I don't like that part whatsoever. Canada, you talk about what was given up and who did what. Canada, Australia, New Zealand, and I can go on and on. All you have to do is they fought. And the United States, it turned out it was in their best interest because you invaded us. The treaties, after you took my dad down, after you kidnapped me, the treaties signed allowed the global government, revelations, I don't care what anybody says, the chipping and all that makes sense. It's in now. You got Henry Kissinger, you got the Rockefellers, Rothschilds, you've got the Kennedy clan, JFK, that you make a hero out of. So it was okay to do all this to me and lie. If you're so proud about it, force your press, Illuminati press, to tell the truth. And see how proud. Then you can say, oh, I didn't know. Oh, geez, I didn't have all that. You can't blame me for it. Yeah, you can. Oh, I'm going to stop with this because it's the treaties. My dad would not take orders, so they steal me, his daughter. When I'm born in 1939, my own Uncle George helped in the kidnapping, and Roosevelt, the JFK actually helped. So they cover all this up. They invaded us. They've got their military all over everything British. So where is the public on all this? Evidently it's okay. You got the special relationship with each other, which is you took down my dad. You installed the global government, the United States, when they went in and partnered with Winston Churchill, etc., etc., some of the Brits. Basically, the Brits paid a hell of a price for your, quote, so-called help. Most of them nowadays don't even know the truth. God bless the Brits. Now, what was I going to say? I'm going back to McCain. He was a hostage. What in the hell do you think I am? I have had things done to me that, if spread out to the world, is so vile and ugly, and to my sons who are heirs after me, you don't want to tell it. I hope and pray that it's laid out and you have to watch it. Have to accept what you've done and not hide behind this facade of cover-up and untruths. I'm going to mention this, and I know, man, what's going to follow this one. They had John McCain's. I'm a hostage. I've been through hell, so are my children. I'm still here living the hell. Okay, John McCain's daughter today. I've stayed away from most of it. They made him such a hero the last days, and Trump was uninvited. The man has, for whatever, I disagree totally when you're trying to say it's okay to take my country down after all you've done, and this against Canada. But Trump is basically, I've agreed with him, almost all of it. And I don't see how he's taking all this crap. So far, he's been able to, thrown at him by you beautiful, loving Congress who's hid all this. You had taken down my father and kidnapping a monarch and inviting the Illuminati. That's the United Nations. Elizabeth represents it. She's um, wined and dined here when she comes over. I've lived on the trail. You've done every sordid, dirty friggin' act in the book to me and my sons, heirs. Now, before this goes off, and I don't think I can put another one up. I don't think I should. I'm making noise, I'm sure, outside. I don't know if they can hear and get offended at me. Telling the truth offends people when they're living pretty good. So, anyway, his daughter, McCain's daughter, got up and she was talking about what a great man he was. She was crying. She was pointing fingers at Trump. And they had this outpouring, plus Obama and plus Walker Bush. God help you. If you ever hear this whole story. Saying all these things while they've covered up all this about me. And by the way, I'm not going to say anything else here. It is either told or not. She's talking about how great and all this that's made over the last years. And by the way, the American flag right outside my door here is lowered to half staff. I have to shut up about my father and mother and the truth, or else you couldn't enjoy all this. The Americans have made themselves out to be the saviors. Well, and I'm going to remind you that what you have to do when you go into Iraq, Iran, or take down Assad, or make a man who told the truth, Assange, hide out in an embassy to have a place to go, a home, for simply telling the truth. He's an Aussie, by the way, which is British. Last time I looked, anyway. So where am I going with all this? You tell the truth, and you take down the facade of how great and the good intent all these people have. Well, you have to make the other people look bad to justify what you've done, going into another country, blowing their guts out. In my case, you went in and assassinated my father with character assassination and lies, total thing, cover-up lies. You kidnap his daughter, the real monarch, me. You bring me over here and you do the same thing to me. You stole my name. The horrific crimes is unbelievable, the suffering, and to my children. Now, I wasn't able to stand up before the world and say, hey, my father is the greatest man ever walked this friggin' earth. And so is my mom, the greatest lady. And I hope, quite frankly, you choke on it, people that thought it was all right to cover up the crimes you've done and pretend to be this great nation when the United Nations, which is the front for the Illuminati, the global government that did this to me, the Rockefellers, Rothschilds, Bilderbergers, back to George Washington, God knows, have been Illuminati Freemasons. Now, you did all this under the pretext of saving, helping. How else could you have done it like you invaded my country under the guise of helping us? You know who helped me too? Not just the Brits, the average citizen of Great Britain, which you've overrun now. You've created wars that make people become immigrants and trying to get into another country to live, and once they do, that country becomes theirs. So there's your global government sitting right up there in New York City that was brought about by your invading the UK, taking down my father and kidnapping me. So it's the cover-up. And you can you understand my feelings when I watch, is her name Meghan McCain, get up there and glorify her father. For all this mess, you would think he was God himself the way they're making over him. So I think you get the gist of it. I wish God himself, that's the only one that'll clear it up if it's ever cleared up. I've told it. There's no doubt in anybody's mind. They get mad at the truth because it attacks their integrity that they've built this whole mess on. That they're the good guys, therefore everybody else is bad. Amen.